Hello to everyone, and welcome back to the Multifamily Mastery Podcast. This is a podcast where I take you on a journey into multifamily investing as a complete beginner and hopefully end up somewhere someday. I'm your host, Jonathan Zook, and once again, welcome. All right, today I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about deal sourcing. Deal sourcing is incredibly important in multifamily because if you don't have any deals, you can't really do multifamily. So deal sourcing is really simple. It's just finding the deal. And then there's also acquisitions, which is they're kind of the same thing, but not really. So deal sourcing is the act of just finding the deal. And then acquisitions is taking it from there on, and that's the underwriting, the due diligence. If you end up going under contract, that's all the contracts, that's all that stuff. I'll go over that in a different episode. But today we're going to talk about deal sourcing. So there are quite a few different places to find deals. You have websites, you have brokers, you have your network, you have direct to seller. And I'll go into more detail on all of these. So starting off with websites, there are some free websites like Crexy and LoopNet. You can find a solid amount of deals on there. They might not be really pencilable deals, and they might not be good deals, but you can still practice your underwriting on them. You can practice your communications and stuff like that. The next way is brokers. This is kind of the main way that people find deals. Brokers are paid to sell multifamily and other commercial real estate. And they do tend to be like more traditional deals. So you might have a harder time doing property, owner financing or seller financing and stuff like that. All right. There are even more ways to communicate with brokers. You can call them on the phone. You can email them. You can go on their website, and some of them have like email lists. You can sign up for that. All right. How to find brokers. If you can pull a list of recent property transactions from, say, like CoStar or some other software like that, you can find the broker from there, from that list of transactions in the past in your market. You can Google brokerage firms or real estate companies in your market. They usually have brokers listed under there. I know LoopNet has a very large list of brokers for every market. I'm in a relatively small tertiary market mainly right now, and there are quite a few brokers on that list. So LoopNet also has a lot of deals. They might be bad, but there are significant amount of deals on there, and you can always contact the broker from there. Even if that deal might not be that good, you can be like, hey, do you have any others? Like, I'm not interested in 1234 Main Street, but do you have any others? And as far as just regular contact with brokers, you want to keep in constant communication and stay top of mind. So that way, when they find a deal that you would like and that you've told them about because you've had that prior contact before, they can be like, oh, I remember this guy, I'm going to send that to him. And also, if you are in constant communication, they may have forgotten about you. I mean, not forgotten, but like there were other people more top of mind, but then you called them because you're constantly communicating, and then you may be able to take that deal. So also, you want to establish a relationship with them because people are going to work with you better if they kind of like know you as a person. And if they know what you're like and they like you, they're probably going to tend to work with you more. I have a episode with Brian Truman out on broker communications. So if you want more info on that, you can go check that out. All right. Next on here, we have network. So basically just people you know. That can be through social media. That can be through going to local meetups. Can be anything like that. Just texting your friends, letting them know what you're up to. For me, not really many people my age are in commercial real estate, so I can't really do that as much, but yeah. All right, and the last one is direct to seller. So the direct to seller tends to be harder. There tends to be more resistance than brokers because brokers are paid to sell you the deal. They want to sell deals. That's how they make their money. But direct to sellers, because you're just contacting the owner of that property directly, then they might be making a lot of money and they might not want to sell it. But then you also never know. They might be like thinking about it, but they don't want to have to go through the process of using a broker and taking it to market, because that can be pretty complicated. And you just happen to call them and can take it off their hands for a decent price. So it can have better deals. You can get seller financing. You can do loan assumptions easier, all that kind of stuff. There are a few different ways to get in contact with direct to seller. I'm not sure. I haven't done much direct to seller yet. I know there's softwares where you can put in the address and then do what's called skip tracing, which is basically finding the information of the owner of that property. There's a lot of different quite expensive softwares out there for that, but I personally haven't done much of it. I will share more as I start to do it, because I know people that have gotten some really, really good deals from direct to seller. So different ways to get in contact. Like I said, you can mail them stuff, you can do cold calls, you can text them. There's softwares for basically all of these things. And then there's also creativity. I know people that have gotten direct to seller deals because of the creativity that they've used in the approach to the seller. It can basically just help you stick out a little bit more. Maybe it's something funny, so they'll be like, oh, this is a good, funny dude, like something like that. Or it could be like incredibly professional, so like it sticks out in that way. There's creativity. You can really do a lot with that. All right, that's about all I have for deal sourcing today. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I appreciate you watching this podcast. I will be moving the podcast to once every month instead of once every 2 weeks. Back when I first started this podcast and when I first started in real estate, I had a lot more time to focus on the podcast, and now that's kind of switched as I need to spend more time on the real estate itself. So with that being said, once a month, stay tuned for it. Got quality stuff coming out, and I will see you guys next month.